Hello, fellow space nerds. As promised, I'm gonna try to do an episode with Voiceover today to see how you guys like it. The ship that we're gonna try today and have a look at is a Condor. I'm flying an AB Scram Web rocket Condor with a NOS and a tracking disruptor, so it's basically fit to fight ships that are gun focused damage wise. The first fight is against Lucifers Son. He is flying a Merlin today. I'm expecting a Blaster Merlin, and since this is faction warfare, he's most likely going to be dual web with an armor repairer. That's at least my guess. So I will get out controlled in the end. Initially, I'll post some range to mitigate damage, and I load the optimal range script to mitigate his damage through that. But as you can see already, he is pulling in towards me, even though I'm heating my AB and I have a really fast fit. He is out controlling me. So right here, I decide to change to a tracking speed script and start ramming him. Usually these fits, if they run dual web, will load void to maximize damage, which means here right now I really start hurting because I initially approached him, but now after a certain amount of time and after I build up transversal, he stops hitting me because my tracking speed basically takes care of all of his damage. I get up in orbit on him. He decides to orbit me, which is probably his biggest mistake in this fight, because if he would keep me at range, I'm pretty sure he would 3 or 4 shot me. But because of the tracking speed tracking disruptor, as well as mine and his orbit, I managed to beat him here and finish him off. Alright, something that I forgot to mention before, I'm trying to do this video chronologically, so the fights will get increasingly harder for the Condor over time. So the second fight that is coming in right now will be against a Thrasher. I've been actually chasing this Thrasher for a while now, trying to get him to fight me. He thought I'm part of a blob, and I'm expecting him to be autocannon. So the idea here is super simple. I burn in for scram and web range, get my tracking disruptor on him so he can't hit me anymore, and then build up a far orbit at 7500 to mitigate most of his autocannon damage. Initially, I think he has Hail or one of the Republic Fleet ammos loaded, because he's not applying any damage to me currently at my stable orbit at 7.5. So currently my only objectives are to hold scram, so sometimes I heat it a little bit here and there to make sure that he doesn't get out of scram range, heat my tracking disruptor as much as possible, and hopefully not die once he starts loading barrage and killing me, which should happen right about now. He actually reloads to barrage, that's why he's not currently shooting me, and we'll start applying a hit here and there. My shield's now depleted and I'm slowly dropping into armor. He actually gets a really big shot here that almost gets me into hull, which I think was luck mostly, because shortly afterwards he completely stops tracking me more or less. I only have to rep here and there. He is shield buffer fit, so at this point his tank is almost depleted. So it's just a matter of not burning my modules, keeping scram, and making sure that I can finish him off. For the third and final true solo fight of this video, I'll be fighting a Comet. Comets are insanely strong and one of the hardest ships to fight in the 1v1 solo frigate PvP. So initially I check out his guns. I figure out that he's railguns, which is super convenient for me, because all I have to do is approach him, get close, switch my tracking disruptor to tracking speed to mitigate most of his railgun damage. Their natural tracking is really bad, they just have a lot of range, and then out control him, because Condor has really good base speed, as well as a T2 weapon and a T2 AB, so I by nature have more speed than him. As you can see right now, I'm barely faster than him. I do get initially hit here a lot, simply because he has his drones out, which are around 60 DPS, which already by itself is a lot to handle for the Condor. But then on top, after the first approach, I overshoot him a little bit, and he manages to get 2 or 3 shots on me, which almost get me into hull. From here on out, it's just a lot of module management. I have to make sure that I keep heat on my AB and possibly my tracking disruptor to mitigate damage. And I also have to rep to make sure that I don't bleed into hull too much. Initially, this is not much of a problem. But since we are slowly but surely both running out of cap, both of us are using NOSes, so basically we're just trading cap back and forth, but initially one of us will will run out of cap, and to make sure that that's not me, I'm trying to not over rep too much. At this point we are starting to both drop into hole here and there. The fight is really close. I'm also almost out of heat on my guns, so I can't heat those anymore. Right here you see that I check if my auto reload is off, because this means that my repper will still continue repping even though I run out of cap, which happens right now. And the same actually happens to my opponent. He is also out of cap at this point, because we've been trading cap back and forth with the NOS. And he made the mistake of not clicking this button. His armor repairer goes on reload right here. And while I managed to get some more rep cycles from my armor repairer by heating my NOS and spamming the armor repair button, I managed to win the fight basically. Because you can see here, it's not much, but it does repair a little bit, while he is stuck with only his whole buffer to save him from my rockets. As you can see, this was a really close fight. I make it out with 6% hold out of this. So good fight to Thinkum. Thanks for bringing it on, and let's watch the last bonus clip of this video. This last clip is a little different from the others. I didn't actually want this fight. I tried to run, but made the mistake to take too long to actually get out of the plex. Additionally, I had my AB on, so the Garmer that I wanted to avoid actually gets scram up on me. But it's really about making the best out of your mistakes, so I commit to the fight. I know my win condition is to pull range and see if I can outrange his gun and missiles, and look from there. So initially it really hurts, but I get to 8 kilometers really quickly because he is dual prop. And then I get really lucky here because 2 Tristans that were fighting outside slide on us. And since the Garmer is the biggest thing on the grid, they decide to go for it first, which basically means they saved my life. I burn back into range here to try to get scram, but immediately drop back into hole, so burn back again. And yeah, overall though, a really fun fight because we do get the Garmer in the end and also manage to finish off one of the Tristans. One thing I want to mention while this clip plays out, I really want to thank you all for watching these videos. It's been a dream of mine more or less to make videos and entertain people, so I hope you enjoy this content. I'm always really open to suggestions, so if you think this voiceover stuff is really cool, do let me know in the comments or drop a like to show that you like it. If you think the videos with music are better, I'd love to know that. Just let me know and I'll post more of that. Additionally, I've been trying to post 1 video a week, mostly these themed videos about one ship, like for this week the Condor or last week the Vetmec. But I will be working on posting midweek little clips, hopefully around 2-3 minutes, with really fun engagements that are just easier to consume basically for the viewer. 2 to 3 minutes, just 1 clip. So please, once I post those, do let me know if you like them. And yeah, I hope to see you around for the next one. And see you in Tama soon.